Agenda Setting Theory Lecture Part 1. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa ahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. I hope you all guys are doing well. In this audio lecture, you would be able to understand something about agenda setting theory, inshallah. So let us start with the basic concept and definition of this agenda setting. Agenda setting is the idea that what the public thinks about is set by the media. I mean, usually we believe that nowadays whatever we think about our political leaders, our political situation, our social problems, our religious problems, our medical issues, our thinking is driven and directed by media. So this broader concept is literally speaking is called as agenda setting. The agenda setting theory was first introduced by Dr. Maxwell Malcolms and Dr. Donald Shaw. Usually we name these guys as Malcolm and Donald Shaw. Maxwell Malcolm and Donald Shaw. These guys presented this theory in 1972. Basically, this theory states that the news plays an integral part in the shaping of political realities. So basically, this theory and research behind this theory is driven by political thoughts. These guys, they conducted research on political campaigns, and most of the research that we are going to study further in this lecture, they conducted that research on American presidential elections. So that's why their main thrust here in this theory is the political realities. So they believe, they suggested, they proposed that news plays an integral part in shaping the political realities. They mainly conducted research on the Iranian hostage crisis that erupted between Iran and the US, and then this issue was taken up by the presidential candidates during their presidential debates, and these researchers conducted research on the impact of those presidential election campaigns on the candidates' selectivity or electivity, whatever you say. And second important issue where they conducted research was the crime wave during Lincoln era. So the crime wave by Lincoln Stephens. So this is how you can say that this theory basically is about finding out whether the media sets the agenda for the public or not. So they conducted research on American presidential elections, and the hypothetical case of agenda setting that they presented, they said that at time 1, a few days before election, the public's agenda was on 5 points, and those 5 points, at number 1 was inflation. I mean, people were giving importance to inflation in their country. Second most important agenda was crime, and then unemployment, and then pollution, and then was the hostage crisis. But during the election campaigns, news media play up possible hostage release. I mean, the media focused mainly on the hostage crisis, And what happened, according to their research, what happened on election day, that the majority of the people, I mean the public's agenda was the hostage crisis at top, and rest of the things were beneath this hostage crisis. Remember, the hostage crisis was at fifth point before the election day and before the election campaigns. But during the election campaigns, when there was hostage crisis at top, at the media, in the media coverage, so due to being at top in media coverage, the hostage crisis became public agenda at top. And you can see the chart is in front of you in your reading, and in slide number 4 you can see that the hostage crisis, which was at number 5, that has been shifted to the top. This is approved by, this was you can say established by these researchers when they conducted research in Chapel Hill. This study is called as Chapel Hill study, and this study is considered as first systematic study of agenda setting in 1972 by McCombs and Donald Shaw. And they conducted research on presidential election campaign of 1968, and they believed that the mass media set the agenda for political campaign, influencing the salience of attitudes towards political issues. I mean, they believed that media change the thinking of the public regarding the importance of the issues. I mean, the media make people believe that what is important and what is not important. So mass communication ordinarily does not serve as necessary or sufficient cause of audience effect, but rather functions among and through a nexus of mediating factors and influences. So this is another important thing, that it's not only media that affect your opinions or thinking, but also there are other factors which are involved in changing the attitudes and changing the opinions of the public regarding certain issues. Then there is another important aspect in this study, and that is the media agenda and the reality. I mean, there is an established relationship between news coverage and the public perception. I mean, the public perception of important issues is related to the news coverage of the issues given by different media at that particular time. The researchers believe that the actual prominence of the specific issues in reality, they believe that the actual prominence of the specific issues in reality may or may be different, but when it is being displayed, projected, portrayed by media, it gains particular kind of importance. Then the second part of the study that is related to the media coverage and the reality, again a researcher believed that the news media are believed by many people to be reliable information source, but the data presented here indicate that this is not necessarily the case. I mean, this is not necessarily the case that the whatever media gives information to the public, they would believe it as it is. And then there is a finding that the Chapel Hill study could not show which was which influencing which. I mean, a media agenda is influencing public agenda, or the public agenda is influencing media agenda. And then there was another study, the Charlotte study in US presidential election of 1972. First presidential election study was conducted in 1968 in Chapel Hill, and then this study in 1972 presidential election was conducted in Charlotte, I mean the second state. Here McCombs and Shaw studied the evidence, the causal direction of the agenda setting. I mean, here they try to establish who affect who. I mean, is it the public who are affecting the media, or it is the media who are affecting the public agenda? So here they find out that the television newscast may be having impact on presidential elections. Here they pointed out a particular phenomenon called as priming. Priming is the process in which the media attend to some issues and not others, and thereby alter the standard by which peoples evaluate election candidates. So prominently speaking, apparently speaking, and broadly speaking, you can say that the researchers believed that media has a strong impact on the public perception regarding election candidates, and here they believe that media play up certain things and play down certain things. So as a crux, we can say in this audio lecture we try to understand what is agenda setting and what are different thoughts about this agenda setting theory, and what are the two prominent studies, that is the Chapel Hill study and the Charlotte study, and what is the priming effect in the agenda setting theory. In next part of this lecture, we will be studying the agenda building, how the agenda is built and what are the steps of agenda building. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.